Hello Godzilla fans, this is Godzilla, and I have another review today of a figure I got just a few days ago, requested by, let's see if I can pronounce the name right, Cesar Chavez. I think that's how you say it. If not, please correct me. But anyway, he requested the Bandai standard scale Little Godzilla. Let me just say that this figure, I'm not too sure on how good it is. Well, I'm doing a review, but I do know that I actually really love this figure. Goji Franklin knows that, Louis Duran knows that. I really love this figure. If he captures, well, no, that'll be for movie accuracy. Anyway, I'll get right on to detail. Now, this figure was produced in 1994, along with its movie Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. So it's hard vinyl because it's a little older, but it still has some phenomenal detail. So I'll start down at the tail. Under the tail there's all these little folds and stuff, and all the scales, all very well done. They all have great size. The spines also, there's 3 primary rows of spines, 1 down the middle and 2 on the sides, but in between them there is detail, like kind of the same scaly stuff you have here. Let's go ahead and just move up the spines. They're very round spines. Here, like on the big ones, it almost looks like there's supposed to be smaller ones in there, like this right here, that they just decided to sculpt in with the larger spines, or that might just be part of the spine. I don't know. Let's see, up at the top they almost kind of turn into like horns or something. Let's see. Legs, same scaly detail. You can tell that he's a very fat figure. He has very nice kneecaps here. I usually don't talk about kneecaps or whatever, knees, but they are somewhat noticeable here because they look like eyes. I just realized that. Anyway, so those look nice. Toenails or claws or whatever have texture on them going down the nails, so it overall makes for a very detailed and accurate representation of his toenails. Let's see, arms, it's pretty much the same deal. We have all his little knuckles and hand joints up in his hand, which looks cool. His fingernails aren't painted either. Belly and chest area, there's all these little, the word that comes to mind is crusty thingies, I don't know. But it looks like dry dirt. Well, I don't know if that's a good word, but really, really dry dirt, how it separates and makes all those little cracks in the ground. That's what this looks like here. On his chest, they're just a little bit smaller. Under his arm, there is a nice transition in detail from the crusty stuff to the scaly stuff, and that's good. Under the neck, there are a bunch of folds. I'm pretty sure that's accurate. So, onto the head. He has a nice, big, but nicely sculpted head. His ears, there's actually nothing too special there, just regular ears. One thing I like is how, like, on the cheeks, there's all the scaly stuff, and how it kind of curves down to go in the neck. When they do that, I don't know, you can tell that they're, like, trying to do a good job on the detail, so that looks nice. Maybe I'm just overreacting about his cheeks. Whatever. Anyway, his nose is alright. He's got the little folds going up to these little round sections there. Now, one of the biggest problems with this figure that a lot of people have noted on is the mouth. It's not hollow or anything. It's just, like, it's open, but it's filled in with green vinyl. Same color as his skin. And it's not too distracting until you actually see it and start staring at it. And it just, if they're not going to make the mouth hollow, or, I mean, like, empty on the inside, at least paint the inside black. I mean, come on. Like, when you see the light shining on the stuff on his mouth, it just looks bad. Anyway, his teeth, however, I don't know. I don't know if I should call these individually sculpted or not, because I don't think they are because of the thing in his mouth. But they are each their own teeth. They're not like, it's not just like one strip with a bunch of teeth painted on. They're actually, each tooth is sculpted onto this inner mouth thing. His eyes, nice and shiny, smooth. This review is probably taking me a while. I'm trying to move at a quick, not quick, but reasonable pace here, so bear with me. Detail. Oh, I just did detail. Sorry, guys. Paint job. You can see he is a pretty standard green. Like, I don't really know how to describe it. Maybe like leaf green or whatever. I have no clue how to describe it, but it looks good. If it were a little darker, that would have been better as far as movie accuracy. His nails aren't painted. I've already touched on that, though. They are just the same color. His belly is, again, a very plain yellow. I'll touch on that when I get to movie accuracy. But there is a very nice transition from yellow to green. Not only from detail to detail, but from color to color. There is very smooth transition. Right here on the neck things, it almost looks like it alternates between yellow and green folds, which looks kind of cool. I don't know. The spines are pretty much just plain white. You can see here on the sides, they're a little bit darker. Maybe you can see there's a bit of like dark highlights or something, which adds some depth to it. But overall, it's just like spray painted up the back, all white, which looks okay. It doesn't look as bad as it does on other figures. Also, at least on this side, I don't know if this is just excess paint, but it looks like there's some highlights going down his back that are the same color of his spines. Like you can see here, the top of his arm is light. It's kind of a lighter color. And that doesn't really match up with the green next to it, so it doesn't look quite natural, but it's not too big of an issue. Also on paint job, how they just came up with the paint down the back. The outer sides of the spines are not painted, but the inner sides are. See here on this row all the way to the left, it's white and then green. It doesn't look that bad. I don't know if they intended to do it that way. It actually looks kind of cool from a side view. But that was either some kind of like someone's idea with paint job just to go all the way up the back, or it was just lazy. It's not really a problem though, it just makes me curious. Down at the tip of the tail there's a nice transition also from white to green. Same at the top of the head, it's very nice here. Again, the mouth is just green. It's bad. The teeth are plain white. They're overall pretty well. The paint job is overall pretty well centered on each tooth, so there's nothing to complain about there. His pupils are quite obviously black. His iris things are like orangish, kind of like a burning Godzilla, orangey kind of color. I don't know. That was a weird analogy or simile. And the outsides of his eyes are like kind of a creamy white. So that's paint job in color. Nothing too spectacular, actually. Onto articulation. He moves in the arms. They can probably go 360, but I don't want to force it. You don't really have to force it that much, but you do have to give it quite a bit of force to get it all the way through, and that could either make it loose or mess up some kind of paint job. So I'm just gonna say it's better not to move the arms 360, but if you really wanted to, you could. And the legs move just a little bit. Like, really, they barely move at all. Like, I'll move one as far back as I can. I won't move one as far forward as I can. And it kind of looks like he's running or something. So the leg articulation is kind of pointless. His head does not move. I think they could have pulled it off because there's a nice even ring going all the way around the bottom of his head that they could have just made articulated and turn his head. His tail, I do not believe it's articulated, and if it is, it's extremely stiff. So, like, I don't think there's a glue seal on mine because I can, like, pull it out and I can see that there's some separation in there. So I'm going to say 2 points of definite articulation, 2 points of kind of pointless, but for some reason is there, articulation. So now on to movie accuracy. This figure, there's 2 ways to look at it. One is movie accuracy as far as the sculpt. Yeah, he's pretty movie accurate in that regard, actually. He looks good. Paint job, not so much. The green and the yellow, if they were much darker, or not much darker, but I don't know what, how much darker, but if they were both darker, he would be much more movie accurate. Other than that, this figure is actually pretty movie accurate. Like I said, if they just changed the paint job up a little bit, it would have been much better. But I still kind of like the way it looks, just because it's like, I don't know, it kind of appeals to me, the bright colors and, you know, Little Godzilla. Because, like, to be honest, Little Godzilla is kind of a joke. So I don't really think it matters that his colors are a little brighter. It kind of just gives him a light feel to him. I mean, come on guys, let's be honest. Did Toho really think that putting Little Godzilla in a movie was gonna actually do anything? Besides just give something for Space Godzilla to steal? Anyway, they probably also did it so they could acknowledge the existence of Baby Godzilla. But the point is, they didn't really take him too seriously. That's why he looks like this. Anyway, so that's movie accuracy. Now I'll get on to size comparisons. First I'll compare him with some 6-inch figures from his movie. Well, first is Pink Tag 93 Godzilla. That's as close as I can get to 94 Godzilla. This is 100% accurate. No guys, I'm just kidding. This is not accurate at all. They're the same size, just about. Godzilla should be about this big compared to Little Godzilla. So, but the thing is, this is actually an 8-inch scaled figure. So, 6-inch shouldn't even be scaled well anyway. But just for grins, here's Space Godzilla. Same problem. And Mogera. By the way, this is... Oh, that's close. This is Pink Tag Space Godzilla, and this is Movie Monster Series Mogera. Again, nothing, but couldn't really expect much. So here's the entire Space Godzilla 1994 gang. Anyway. So, I've already established now that this is actually an 8-inch scaled figure, so let's get out an 8-inch figure. Sadly, I do not have a Godzilla, or at least a Bandai Godzilla, but I do have Kiryu to take its place. This is a little bit better. I think if you were doing like a movie or something, this could work. But I think Godzilla Junior would have had to have been about this tall. So he still seems a little too big. So 8-inch figures scale a little bit better. I do, however, have Trendmaster's 8-inch Godzilla 1994. And again, same with Kiryu, they scale alright, that you can make it work. But it's just not completely accurate. So, yeah, there's Trendmaster's 8-inch Roaring Godzilla. Who else do I compare him with? Okay, I know. I'll compare him with his other ages, I guess. Baby Godzilla and Godzilla Junior. They're obviously not scaled correctly. I don't even need to get started on why Baby Godzilla isn't to scale, because we'll put Baby Godzilla back here. Little Godzilla's like this big to Baby Godzilla or something. Because Baby Godzilla was just a little taller than a human, or at least maybe even the same size. Little Godzilla is like 30 meters, I think. Yeah, 30 meters tall. So there's quite some difference. So now Godzilla Junior Well, I don't know. Like, let's see, Godzilla Junior is 40 meters tall, Little Godzilla is 30 meters tall. So, if we get Little Godzilla back here, and Godzilla Junior, he should be about this big. That's about right. So maybe if Godzilla Junior were 8 inches tall, they would scale correctly. Let me get an 8-inch figure just to see how that would work out. Okay, 8 inches is maybe a little bit too tall for Little Godzilla. If Godzilla Junior were 8 inches tall, 8 inches might be a little too tall. Maybe 7 inches tall. Okay, I've been talking about that for quite a bit. So to conclude that last thought, Godzilla Junior needs to be about an inch taller in order to scale correctly with Little Godzilla. There we go. Anyway, let's get them out of here. You know what? I think I'm gonna scale him with a 6-inch figure. Or not a 6-inch figure. A 12-inch figure. Alright, this is more like 10 inches. So Godzilla is 100 meters in... Oh, here's a Bandai Creation Godzilla Final Wars, by the way. He's 100 meters in Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. Little Godzilla is 30 meters. So... this works even better, but he's still too short, or still too tall. So, with a 12-inch figure, it'd be more like this big, I think. Yeah, this big. I haven't held this guy here in a long time. I think he's pretty cool, but this isn't his review. So let's get him out of here. Final thoughts on this figure. You know what, it's old and it's not quite movie accurate and it's hard vinyl, but I really love this figure so much. And because I love this figure so much, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. The main problems is the mouth. I mean, that I've already explained that, and the lack of articulation, like in the legs. I really would have loved articulation in the head, but that's okay. You know what? I'm gonna do one more size comparison. I'm gonna compare him with Batra, just because I want to show off my Batra figure. I got him yesterday and I love him. Obviously, never mind. Just get Batra out of here. Anyway, so this is a really nice figure. I definitely recommend it. I got mine for over $50. You should definitely find yours for cheaper. I just had a lot of money to spend, so I got him for mediocre price. So definitely get him. He is getting kind of rare because he's old. So definitely get him. He is a really nice addition to your collection. But I would recommend getting these two first, because they are better representations of the sons of Godzilla. So, but definitely get Little Godzilla. He's a great figure. Gave him a 4 out of 5. So, yeah, I don't know where I was going to go with that. I'm really bad at ending videos, guys, so just bear with me. See you on the next video.